So we all know that Tupe got into an accident trying to help Singha, and now Singha feeling very guilty of what's happening, and he took Tupe to the hospital. Tupe explained what happened. He told him that he had a strange belief that Singha was gonna be in trouble because, well, one of the glass thingy dropped from his house, and now he went there. I did not really believe such thing, but let's be honest. All the things that's happening around him, you're telling me you don't believe anything? And what if he didn't go? He would have died. But at the same hospital, here comes King to inform Singha and Tup about Darin's accident. You know, at this point, I am glad that Darin's okay. Not so sure how Darin ended up get saved, but we'll find out that later. Either this is a different hospital or this is the better version of the hospital that Tob and Singer was in. But anyways, they met up with Say and Say told them everything, told them that he and Darin was having a bit of a argument problem. He also said that he was the one that saw Darin and took him to the hospital. How King knew is because Darin called King for help. Say called King for help. Now, before everything really went down, the nurse came and said that Darin was in a critical condition and needed blood, and the type of blood that they need is a O blood. And since King is the match for Darin, King offered to help. Now, the both of them are outside about seeing and they are outside talking. Even though they don't like King that much, he did help. It's like bringing back old times. Now, what we're trying to wonder is, no, what Stay's trying to wonder is there gonna be a chance that maybe Stinger, hold on, yawning, is Stinger is gonna give King a I'm tired, honestly. So it is the same hospital. Anyways, after Sing and Say started finished with their conversation, they went up and they saw Toop. Toop he bought regular food. You know what he can manage. My question is, how much is these people paying him for a freelance whatever it is that he does? And why does he always have to be the one to pay for stuff? I get that you want to make yourself useful so you can actually stay in Singer's place, but come on. At least Singer could have done is just give him a chance to use the kitchen because you can't survive by buying a lot. I love how during how Top was communicating with Singer, Say could have sensed something romantic going on, but he doesn't want to say it. Seeing that Darin's okay and out of the crazy woods now, they want to stay with Darin. Of course, Say wants to be the one to stay, but King and Singha is like, dude, you there the most. At least go home and rest. And then all three of them decided that they will stay. And Singer even ordered food for everyone. You know, for a person who is over his ex-partner, sure knows a lot about his, well, of course he knows, but the fact that you still remembers about how your ex loves his food. But while three of them are in their little zone, snap, out comes Singha noticing that they have an extra company, which is Tup. Tup sees how Singer and King are vibing, and Tup and Singer offered to buy him food, but seeing as how he's sad that both Singer and King are getting too close, Tup does not want any food. I don't blame you. You find out that the person you kind of like is in front of his ex and he's still acting normal. That doesn't sit right with me either, and I ain't gonna be hungry too. Okay, they decided to go home, and Singer noticed how his house is a lot rearranged and a lot more cleaner. And Toop admits that while Singer was out doing his work, he decided to make himself useful and clean. He's becoming a future husband before the husband title even sticks to him. Also, when they got home, Singha brought back the skewer thing, which was what Took bought for him and Say, which was skewer meat, I believe. He noticed that Singha brought it back, which means Singha did not even eat it. And he's also upset with that. Singha noticed the facial expression and the attitude change and asked Tupe what the problem is. Tupe refused to say it and also took back the skewer that he bought and ate it, saying that it wouldn't taste good if he overheated it because Singer said he wanted to heat it up the next day for breakfast, and Tupe says it wouldn't taste so good if he did. Singer still knows that there's something off with Tup and tries to convince Tup to explain why he's so mad. Tup is a very determined temple boy. He decided to say he's not going to tell you what my problem is, but then decided to tell him that, hey, what is it about King? He not explained. He told Singer that, hey, while I was cleaning, I saw some pictures of you and King, and then asked Singer if King and Singer were in a relationship. Singer did admit yes they were, but that's in the past and the pictures are not even up anywhere. He wanted to throw them away but never had the time to. So in other words, does Toop ask permission to throw away old stuff? Back at the hospital, Say and King decided to stay and watch for Darin because Darin is still unconscious. Anyways, Say decided to talk to King and tells King how much he regrets everything and blames himself for what happened to Darin. King, being a grateful person, literally tell him, I'm not the people you should come to. I'm not good at giving advices on relationship, considering the one that I had before failed miserably. But he did advise Say to actually comfort to Darin, and it tells him how much he feels, because if he doesn't, he's gonna lose the chance he gets, just like how King did. Now, Say did admit that he really does have feelings for Darin, but he's afraid to admit it to Darin because he knows how Darin will be. He also said that even if he does admit it, right, and he tells them, he doesn't even know what Darin will do, and if so, what will they call the relationship? Will they be just friends, ex, bed friends? He's not too sure, but he really wants to be with Darin. Also, he did mention that even if he tries to move on, it still would be the same because his feelings is just for one person. Now, during this conversation, I genuinely see how caring and concerned King is towards Darin. The facial expression, the eyes, the body language, everything. Which leads me to wonder and question myself to why is it that not we know why Singer is upset with King, but why is everyone following the whole thing? I get that they want to be on Singer's side, but I also want to know, why did King even come back to where Singer is? I get it. He must have said something. They must have did something. I'm not sure, but it's just suspicious. Now back to the troubled couples that hasn't even started to become a couple, Tupe and Singer. Singer went down and saw that Tupe has definitely made himself a home by going to the storage unit to collect a tent. Apparently to Tupe says he doesn't want to interfere with anything that belongs to Singer because, whatever. But then excuses the whole thing by saying the reason he got the tent is to prevent from mosquitoes. Right. He does realize that everything, including the tent, belongs to Singer, right? Even though he said he's trying to avoid anything that belongs to Singer. Still, with all that, Singer still doesn't know what he did wrong for Tup to be upset with him. Technically, he did nothing wrong, but Tup is in his love bubble and being disappointed and heartbroken. He has to put up a front. He can't just let it all out just cause this man is good looking, have nice body and everything. But still, we gotta stay strong. Okay, so next day, and Singer made it his mission to go to that place that Tup buys his skewer from and bought it so he can eat for breakfast. And if you notice the bread, yeah, this show is definitely advertising the bread real well and how you use it and how you heat it. Now, if they have wheat bread, my dad would love it. But anyways, I wonder if they ran out of bread because of the customers buying it just because of this show. That's the greatest thing about advertisement. They use the popular place and popular show just to get through, and it does work. Anyways, Singer noticed that Tup is still in that tent and didn't come out. So he tried teasing Singha. No, Singha tried to tease Tope to come out by saying, hey, we have to go to work. No answer. Well, fine, if you want to stay home, no answer. Homeboy just had that sandwich and just left. Okay, let's talk about King. This episode itself got me thinking 50-50 of feelings for this man. 50% I'm trying to see with him, and then 50% I hate him. Now, here's a hate part. So, King is on the phone with his father, talking about rushing this investigation so things can go smoothly. But here's a questionable part that really bothers me. The father told King if he doesn't find out a solution and wrap up the investigation, then their whole family reputation will be bad. Why is it that they want to rush this investigation? Maybe King doesn't know, or maybe King knows and he's trying his best to do what his father said, or something is up and the father is hiding everything from everyone. Okay, we're on the crime scene and Meg came along. Hi, Meg. Meg wondering why is Singer alone? Where is Tupe? Their spiritual consultation. With him, you can get this whole investigation running smoothly. Apparently, he didn't come. Of course, he didn't come. Singha had to make an excuse why Tup didn't come, but also mentioned that he's not in love. We were not couples to be around each other that much, even though to Meg saw differently. Anyways, Meg also asked, no, was it Singer? Singer also asked Meg why is King not there. Meg said that King has something urgent to come up with, but somebody else came instead of King. Sexy man Say came along. Say was actually at Darin to actually monitor how Darin is. Since Darin is okay, he decided to take his job because we need money. We need to pay bills. But also, Say also noticed, just like Meg, that their spiritual consulter is not there. Their next victim is a university or college student who took his studying very seriously to the point that he will go, because it's a male, will go to the temple, pray for any of his work to get a higher grade. The sister even expressed that she once passed her brother's room and found he is chanting. Wow, he takes everything very seriously at this point to the very end of his life. I was doing a lot of things and I almost forgot I was doing a recap of this drama, plus I have two more. There's so many stress levels on me. But anyways, they're in the victim's house trying to find any clues on the murderer, and also they found a talisman hidden underneath a shelf in the boy's room. That's good and all, but they haven't found the clay doll, which normally is near the talisman, which is very rare. Then Mac went to the pool area to search around the surroundings, but then he found something near the pool. He found the doll. And again, like all dolls, the head broke off. And he tried to reach into it to get the doll, but here comes the ghostly ghost who's preventing anyone from actually doing what the shaman or whatever black witch person is trying to cast. He tries to drown Meg, but thankfully Singha saved him. Singha seemed to be the repellent for everyone, it looks like. I think it's safe to say that Meg is traumatized, both by drowning and by seeing that ugly thing. After this, Say did admit that having Tupe around would definitely ended the entire thing faster because he would have pointed out where these things are. But Say doesn't know that he talked to ghosts, so the ghost is the one that pointed him to the location of whatever it is the police wants. So in order for you to get Tupe needs to get in contact with the very thing that he fears most. Now, originally people think the reason Tupe didn't come to this crime site is because Singha didn't want him to go. But in reality, Singha told Say that the reason that Tupe didn't go is because he himself didn't want to go. And also, he's very upset. But Singha doesn't know why Tupe is upset. Say kind of gets why he's upset and advises Singha to apologize to Tupe, even though Singha doesn't know what he did wrong. Singha said he doesn't know how to apologize to him, so Say advised him to buy like flowers or some token stuff that Tupe would understand and like. Well, at least we know Tupe finally came out of the tent, and I'm shocked that this boy gets very comfortable with being in a stranger's house. Because remember, we're still strangers here. So Singer took the advice of Say and bought flowers and even bought a bracelet that he thinks that Tope would like, considering he's a temple boy and these things values by temple people. I don't know, but he bought it, and well, he's definitely being forgiven by Tope. He's an easy person to please, I see. I honestly thought that Singer would have gotten a second one to make it like a couple's bracelet, like a pair. But I guess he's not that kind of person to play that game, I guess. And sweetening icing on the cake is that, remember the pork skewer that Singha was eating earlier? He left a note on the bag that he ate it out of and said that the skewer was really good, complimenting on Tope's choice of food. So of course that makes Tope happy too. Now with that said, Singha still asking Tope why he's upset. So Tope told him, said that he's jealous that King is around Singha, and Singha definitely told Tope that they are not in a relationship, even though clearly Tope sees that they were, including pictures. Well, Singer did admit that they were something, but because of conflict and past whatever, they decided to go their separate ways. Clearly, even though there is more to the story, Singer did say he doesn't want to talk about it, and Tope understands that his past and life is his decision to tell or not. But also, he said he gets jealous. Singer even mentioned that how he first met King and that they didn't get along very well until when they went on a mission and King kind of saved him from being killed. And that was when they started to grow close enough to be that close. You understand? But then, even to the point that they made promises, that promises says that they, wherever each one of them goes, they will follow. That would explain why King always follows behind Singer. Like, think about it. As soon as Singer transferred back to the station, here comes King. You don't think this boy takes this promise seriously? So King remembers the promise and kept his promise. It's just Singha is the one that doesn't even remember shit. Got it. First off, I need to remind myself I do not like King. And each time I say these things, it means that I'm closely kind of starting to like him just because of his past. Because look at it. You can generally think or generally see that maybe King likes Singha and maybe does still like Singha, but Singha is still upset with King and he is slowly moving on, which is why King said to say that he needs to do everything he can to admit and confess to Darin before it's too late, and he doesn't want to regret it because King himself said he regret his decision from not speaking out when he should. Maybe I'm too much of a fan of Pavel, but I don't like this combination. Even if they were trying to test some waters, this is some nasty waters. I ain't gonna lie you. Nah, the height difference, the body build different. I don't know. There's something about this combination deserve a X. No, thank you. But regardless, I am glad that the two of them kind of started to be friends-ish in some ways, because he kind of bought him soup from at the hospital and kind of closely talk to him. Maybe because he saved Darin's life. That's to be. So Singer made like a comment saying that he was destined to be alone or whatever, and then Tope went close range on him, saying that you're not alone, you have me. He did it romantically too. This temple man knows moves. He acts innocent, but he got a mind of naughty. He even went so close, you were this close to kissing. And he was rubbing on Singha's waist, trying to take out the shirt, out the pants, and this close to kissing until Singha is like, nope, too soon. We don't know each other like that. I was like, Singer, you didn't even want to taste a little bit of the temple? I swear, if you have tried the temple boy, it'll probably put you in a yoga position or a pretzel that the yoga trainer itself could not explain the position. Or maybe more than what King gave you. Come on, you don't know. You don't know what this temple boy can give? This boy can worship and sees things. The man can probably see visions of the positions that you like. Hell, he can go to the ghost of whatever and they can secretly tell him what you really like because they've been seeing you. Since the start of that episode, I've only seen two product placement, not part of the drama, not the start of the drama, the start of the episode. I've only seen two product placements, the bread and the mask. The mask is pretty much new. Tupe was ready to go to bed until the light went out and then some figure came and opened the tent. Originally, Tupe thought it was ghost because let's be honest, you can't even tell what's real or fake anymore unless you call out his name or try to physically touch him or physical is touch. I try to physically tell him, yo, what's not real from what's real. Anyways, Singha came because the light went out and he fears that Tupe might need physical touch from him if the unseen shows themselves. But then again, I realized since Tupe went into Singer's house, I don't believe he's ever encountered any ghost. But Tupe is very happy with how close Singer decided to get close to him because most of the time Tupe has to beg Singer to come close. This time Singer went willingly. And it's not like Singer doesn't like it either. He's starting to like Tupe too. Darin finally wakes up and the first person he saw is Say right in front of him. I mean, why not? But this is episode 5 and we're not sure this is just purely for the moment because after Darin is all completely recovered, will he go back to him being, oh, we're just friends with benefit, just we just have sex and go our ways, but also get jealous when Say moves on? If that's the case, I will say it again, Say move on. I get you love the guy, but the guy don't seem like he likes you in public, but likes you in private. What kind of red flag is that? Is that even the red flag? It's just not right. Not for your feelings. Later on, Singer and Tupe went to the hospital to visit Darin. Darin tells Singer and Tupe and Say about what he saw before he got hit by a car, and the way he explained it, Tupe already draw this person and Tupe shows the thing to Darin. Darin said admit that that's what he saw. Now, why it's up going against them, they don't know. Well, kinda. Tupe kinda knows. But anyways, he also mentioned that he got the DNA test with the claim thingy and there was no match, which is they're not going anywhere knowing that there is no match. It's like a endless cycle of stupidity and nothing makes sense. Now let's get back to square one because that's where we are. Back to the drawing board. We know that the 7 victims go by day, and the day they will die, day the birthday, whatever, they died by the day of their birthday. But you also notice that they have like talismans and the booklets and stuff like that, which leads them to the very place that they were turned down on. So they're going back there because at one way or another, it's all leading to that place. Still, we're still finding it hard to believe that we're dealing with ghosts, especially when Tupe says something like this. Even though Singer, ooh, damn, Pavel, ass. Okay, ooh, ass. Okay, focus. What did I say? Ass. Even though Singer admits that he doesn't believe in this ghost supernatural thing, it's hard to say that when all the logics are there, including what Tupe says, and Tupe says shows the evidence and the reason he showed it, how he got to know about the evidence, and yet ghosts seems to be out of the question because how do you question the unseen? That's stupid. So we're back to that place, but a different section of the place, and also there's a lot of people. They walked up to like barrels and stuff like that where you have to throw a coin and make a wish. Tupe explained the bottles, the containers that are 7 of them, goes by the day. You must go exactly on the barrel that has the name of the day and the day you were born, and that's where you make your wish and it will probably come true. Now, not just that, King out here trying to be superior over Tupe by saying that he was born on a Friday, I believe, and he should make a wish first. Then Tupe noticed that Singha put his thing on a Saturday, or was it on Friday? I don't remember. And he said yes. Turns out both Singha and Tupe born at the same day. The way Tupe turned around and looked at King like he won before it even start. Look. So Singha and Tupe went separately and tried to ask people about the victims that the picture. So Singha went to this lunch lady and showed the photos of these victims to the woman, and she says she knows them. They go and eat here. Apparently all the victims were hungry. Anyways, then they started going further in the pictures, and it turns out not all of the victims' pictures the lunch lady knows. So that means not all of them went there specifically. It seems no matter where they go, they keep hitting the brick wall. But on a good side, though, they did mention to get one or two stuff done. Just that it's not ending quickly as King's father wanted. Oh, King, you got a butt too. I mean, Otto, that's what your real name? Got a nice butt too. Then you have this man. He's walking around collecting donation or other words, offerings. And he has envelope. That's where you put the money in, right? But each envelope comes with a different color, and each one of them have the color of the envelope is the amount you put in. Like for example, I think he said the gray one you put in more money, and the way he went to King, like he can sense money on King. King has to put more money in the gray one because he was looking at the man's wallet, and it's like, dude, you can't put in more. The way I would have just, oh, you be grateful, sir. Now, after the man left, Tupe must have saw something or been told by something to tell Singer. Tupe took Singer away from King because he doesn't want him that King knows what he's saying to Singer, and he brought him to ask people to show them around. While they showed them around, Tupe pointed on the old abandoned clay making area. Apparently something happened there, but they didn't say what. So now, while Tupe is distracting the guy that's supposed to tour them around, Singer fall back behind or whatever to just check the old clay area. So obviously we're getting this close to the answer, but again, we are stuck because even though we're at a place, we can't tell who's to suspect. Like, who do we suspect in all this crazy thing? We just know we find a place, but there are like a lot of people here. How do we just think, oh, that's that person? The clay area has been abandoned, but who was the last person that used it? Will anyone even say that answer? So many things rattle up in just one episode that you make you wonder what episode 6 gonna give.